Leading up to MSC at the Esports World Cup 2025, let's take a look at MLBB Around the World. Here to introduce you to the teams competing at one of this year's biggest esports events. My name is Leo, at your service. MLBB Around the World is powered by ASUS Republic of Gamers. In this episode, we're getting to know the challengers. Let's meet our guests. To help us talk about the challengers at MSC X EWC 25, I invited a couple of very esteemed guests, good friends of ours, coming from the EECA and MPL Philippines, but did a quick stint for Myanmar just recently. We have here the very handsome and, of course, talented, here since M1, the triple OG himself, Destroyer, and, of course, the mustachioed menace. Well, he's actually pretty nice. He's not a menace. We have Renmar Santa Cruz.
Hi everyone, guys, nice to see you. It's really amazing to see you again, Leo. Thank you for the invitational, and I hope will be pretty okay for you.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be more than okay, Destroyer. I like that mustachioed menace. I think my good boy era has come to my end. I believe it is now my villain arc. Never mind, no, it's not my villain arc. Not my villain arc. But yeah, thanks for having us, man. I'm excited.
I am so... I don't know. Just the intro got me a little... Wait. I don't know if I did the right call for both of you guys because I tried something different, you know? We were...
It was perfect. It was perfect, Leo.
Okay. I hope that we also give the perfect idea across for people watching, trying to get to know these teams. Again, we're talking about challengers at MSC, meaning these are teams that are definite threats. These are teams that have proven themselves over and over again on the international stage. And when these names are up on the match card, people go, hey, I gotta watch that, because you never know what they're gonna do. They can go for upsets, or, you know, sometimes they come up short. Let's bring in and talk about the very first team out of this category. Renmar, I'm gonna need your help here. We have Mythic Seal. They won the MSL Season 1 playoffs, the grand finals that went almost all the way. This is Myanmar's new MLBB Premier League. And this happened on the 8th of June, 2025. They won 4-2 against Yangon Galacticos, lost in the upper bracket against the same, 2-3, crawled through the lowers against AIE Sports. They gentlemen sweeped AIE Sports. How do you like Mythic Seal now?
I'm glad that you actually put them under the category of challengers, but to be fair, I think I gotta be honest and put a big asterisk on that. They are challengers with a big asterisk, because yes, I will always put teams from Myanmar on a bit of a pedestal considering their history with what they've brought to the table for global MLBB, and of course the performance of Falcon Esports last season when they were still under Coach RZ's helm. But now Mythic Seal, especially their performance against Yangon Galacticos, a lot of the, how do I say this, unsavory qualities of teams not as developed, of course, when it comes to the MPL IDPH Giants, they're a little bit more evident. But weirdly enough, you're also seeing the shades of what makes Myanmar team so good, which is that unpredictability. They are still so scary with the team fighting. But in terms of the overall decision making, in terms of the macro, sometimes their drafts could be a bit off in their decision to let some heroes through, or to completely get blindsided by one quite obvious hero that is still on the table. Those are things that they really need to refine if they want to be ready. But yes, challengers, but with that big asterisk, as I said.
Destroyer, do you agree?
Yeah, I want to add something. You know, for me, maybe they are challengers, but every year this region show us an amazing results. Maybe the only drop was during the MSC 2023. After that, they are still reaching from 5 to 8 place. Yes, and I think every year this region is growing. You know, I see the dynamics that they're going up. Their style is aggressive. At least I saw some games, not everything, sorry. I'll be straightforward, but anyway, I saw they are pretty aggressive, and I saw that really respect a lot, like Joy, Chu, Kim, and the most rated heroes. So they totally understand how to use current meta, and they totally know how to make it good advantage during the early game. And as we know, some of the teams got the problem exactly in the early game, and the current meta this decides really much.
So they are a fighting lineup, if I understand it correctly. They want to start stuff in the
Yes.
early, and then maybe in the mid they can carry it through, but they get caught somewhere in the late.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why their games last on average a little longer. I counted somewhere around 18, 19 minutes as a middling timer. And then throughout their playoffs, they had as long as 28, 29 minute games.
Yeah.
Do I understand their play style correctly?
No, exactly. That's it. And I think after looking back at what happened in MSL, I decided to look at games from Team Spirit and of course from EECA. What I could say is that in the mid game in EECA, just from the few games I got to watch, EECA is a little bit more decisive. It's like, okay, we're either gonna fight or we're gonna back. If we're gonna fight, we're gonna fight. If we're gonna die, we're gonna die. That's it. That's good. That's gonna be it. But when it comes to some of the fights in Mythic Seal versus Yangon Galacticos, to be fair, maybe it was the grand finals jitters, but there were multiple moments where we were in a rotating cast. It was me, Lafel, Mirko. There were moments where we'd just be going, they could have gone forward. Wait, why didn't they? They shouldn't have fought that. Oh wait, no, they could have kept fighting. Why did they retreat? So many what if moments from hesitation popping up, and a lot of those, yes, shows up in the mid game. Once the lords are up, third turtle, even the hesitation's there. But as Destroyer mentioned, he mentioned the joy, the early game, especially with Ken. That's his signature hero. Very evident, that early game aggression.
Yeah, these are some of Mythic Seal's key players. Again, you mentioned Ken, aka the Candyman, aka the Burmese Python, Joy, Haya, Lucas. When the MSL happened, we were at the cusp of a new patch. But best believe now these heroes are still out there. I would also highlight ZipX. He plays Granger, 1-1 Iratel. These are all current patch meta heroes. Destroyer, anyone else catch your eye?
I want yes, one thing. In our region 1-1 is not that popular, but I checked the Zepex. He was literally spamming this hero actually, and it was super interesting for me. Maybe you can open some things for us and tell a bit more about it, because it was really surprising for me. Our region prefer absolutely other heroes.
Yeah, I think it was even respect banned. So there's something that we don't know or maybe haven't seen enough, because I look back at some of the bans against Mythic Seal. 1-1 does show up a lot. So I think it's one of those things where in their server they know, okay, if it's Zipex, we can't give the 1-1 to him, or we have to contest it. We have to take it for ourselves. That's why 1-1 shows up more in priority in their drafts. Zipex is one to look at, but weirdly enough, he was quite underwhelming in my eyes in the grand finals. The one that surprised me and became sort of like the secondary star in the storytelling for Mythic Seal was Nico. It was him that saved game number 5 and made sure that they'd be able to go on to ride that momentum to game 6 to eventually get that win. He's just a really good mid laner. If it's something like the Novario with skill shots, he'll hit them. If it's something aggressive, you need him to be close range with the Valentina, get the right ultimate to steal. You can count on him. I think Ken and Nico are going to be those two people that you really look at and will remember in Mythic Seal for MSC 2025.
I love it. In case you guys are wondering, where did these players come from? Just to cap this off real quick. Nico was former Burmese Ghouls. Zipex was former Xeno. Ken was former Falcons. And that is basically just the identity of the squad. Like, they took the best from everywhere else, put them under the banner Mythic Seal, and now these are their representatives. This is the Burmese team coming out of their qualifiers at MSL Season 1. Once again, that's Mythic Seal, one of the challengers here in MSC 2025. Let's move on to another team that I would like to consider a challenger. I don't know if you guys would agree, but the MTC Season 5 champion, representing Turkey, none other than Aurora Turkey. They qualified as far back as May 24, 2025, and they put Papara Supermassive into submission 4-1 and did the same to them in the upper bracket, just giving one game away. And all throughout the playoffs of that whole tournament, just lost 2 games. Their only 2 losses, again, against Papara Supermassive, were just outdrafts. They were just totally like, they were trying something and then just didn't work out. Gentlemen, how do we feel about Aurora Turkey?
Let's be clear from the beginning. It's the only time I remember they performed bad. I mean about the Fireflags, because the main 3 heroes are from there, right? And the only time I remember when they underperformed was during the M6, because they went through the wild card. Yeah, that's the only time. Otherwise, they dominate all the time. They don't feel any problems, and they're just the giants of the region. Especially a good boost. I see that Sigboom joined, he's the brother of Apex, yeah, and finally they're together, finally, because even Sigboom said in the interview, I don't afraid of any team. I'm afraid to play versus my brother. So that's the reason. I think it also boosted them. And if you speak about the previous results and globally tell about the Turkish team, I can tell that it was super good because M6 15, 16th place, MSC 2024. Yes, they played versus Selangor Giants, I remember, but still, it's a 7-8 place, M5 same, MSC 2023 same. They always come into the good results, but they need some push, and maybe this fix and this combination between the S2G players and Fireflags players will boost them instantly.
Yeah, I think this is their most powerful form yet. They've always been dominating, you're right. Out of Turkey, out of that half of the world, this might be the strongest team, consistently speaking. But, okay. Before Renmar, you speak your piece, I just gotta say, out of the 4 All-Stars, it's clear. My only question mark is Lunar. I think I can clearly say top of class every single role except the EXP.
Yeah, I think for Lunar, there's going to be a lot more pressure onto him, and I'm glad that I really want to use Lunar as the bridge here, because we have to acknowledge that Coach Master the Basics and Coach Dexstar, though we're not completely sure to what regard, to what level for Coach Dexstar, the coaches of Aurora in Philippines, they're going to be coaching Aurora Turkey. To what level, we're not completely sure. If it's Bad Gal Self going analyst, and then they'll have MTB Dexstar taking the helm, but their effect means I think Lunar is going to have so much pressure, because we've talked about it all the time. And when it comes to Aurora's playstyle, Edward is such a key piece in Aurora Philippines that I wouldn't be surprised if one of the first things they do is look at Lunar and see, how can we make this guy a much more staple part of our drafting identity and how we play in game, because that's what Edward brought to the table with Aurora. And if they want to translate that style, or at least come up with a style that's akin to the coaching tactics of Master the Basics and Dexstar, then Lunar definitely has to step up. It's going to be pressuring in that role for him.
I'm scared. The way you put this now, I'm scared for the Turkish boys, because it's one thing to say you're talented and we're gonna help you, we're gonna supplement you with a coaching staff that is world class. But yeah, Destroyer, what do you think? You think we're gonna see that? You think we're gonna see these 2 coaches try to find Aurora PH in Aurora Turkey?
First of all, but Gosef still with them, as I know that he is still there. I think he will try to make it normal. About the Filipino coaches, it's hard to say because they played the whole season without them, and as I know, yes, and right now they joined. But if we speak about the Lunar, about the XP Larainer, I checked his hero pool, and I didn't see any problems. Actually, he playing all the meta. The meta on that period of time, because the patch changed, everything changed. I know, I totally understand that another heroes come into our scene, but still, he was playing everything, and I'm pretty sure he will adapt even more. I think that's the boost they needed. The Filipino coaches, it's really good from my perspective, even in our region, when the Filipino coaches came to EECA, it was a strong boost, and the first coach for like Fly Solo, if you remember, during the M5
Mhm.
with those food, they showed first time such an impressive results.
Yeah.
Then Vren, you remember, so I trusted it.
Okay. So yeah, no, you're right. Wow, I'm glad that you brought this up. That there is a pattern to this. So yeah, no, master the basics and Death Star, jumping into Turkey should be a shot in the arm. You're right. Okay. Just talking real quick across the board about the roster. TNZ, Assassin Main, Rosa, you all know Rosa, Queen of Thorns, Apex 47, dude, this guy plays everything, plus an Estes. He plays everything plus an Estes, plus an Atlas. And then Lunar, yes, does play everything in the meta, but my questions, does he play weird stuff? Because everyone in Aurora Turkey plays weird stuff. Like, they always have that weird pick. Like, Sigabum always has a Beatrix. Amongst his Granger, Harith, and 1-1. TNZ he plays Amon. Who plays Amon? And then Rosa has a Lilia, Apex has the Estes, the Atlas. So that's why I guess I put a lot of effort on, a lot of pressure on Lunar. Anyone else that catches your eye? Like, because my all-star is a Turkish Trigger, man. Like, I'm all Sigibum, man.
One second, sorry for interrupting.
Yes.
Tell me at least one season when Rosa didn't play Lily. Tell me at least one season.
That's his hero. That's him. He is him.
It always shows up. And I think for Rosa, and hopefully Master of the Basics, Dexstar, Coach Bagel Seth also, I want to see Aurora as a team that shows up with more weird picks and making it work and make that their identity. Because I feel like I know Coach MTV has a style, but Coach MTV is also, despite the name, willing to go into the crazier stuff. Rosa has a history of playing fighters in the mid lane. I think we might see versions of that. Exactly. That Terizla in the mid might show up. But specifically Terizla, I don't know. But maybe a different hero. Maybe that puts a little bit of the pressure from being the secondary roamer away from Lunar, so that Lunar can decide to be more of the old school EXP that does more damage, like the Benedettas and the Paquitos. I'm using those as examples, not to say that those are going to show up, but they have that flexibility there. So yeah, in connection with Lunar, I'm looking at Rosa and their capability to maybe show up with a fighter in the mid lane.
You know, if you're speaking about the players, I would like to say that I'm worried about the Tinzi because he was spamming Hayabusa, he was spamming Link, Joy, and Suyo, I guess. That's all. That's all he played. So actually, we didn't see Baksha, we didn't see Fredrin, we didn't see
Alpha.
some kind of the front laners, Alpha. Yes, the most of the games he like concentrating on the assassins or the fast game. He's just trying to make it super fast. And as I know, the main problem actually, if they fail with some kind of rotations, other teams can catch them with it. And even on the ganks, they can lose their priority. They can lose some kind of advantage for it. When it comes to mid, late game, I got no questions. Okay, they totally understand. That's why they're actually using like the boosting as a Tinzi. But at the beginning, sometimes of the rotations, I got questions.
Yeah, if it makes it to the late game, because watching their run in MTC Season 5, just to quickly wrap up our discussion here, their average game time is blindingly fast. On average, they end at 12 and a half minutes. I don't know if amongst the challengers here, especially for this episode, there's any other team that finishes faster on average than Aurora Turkey. So congratulations to them for doing that. I wonder if they can pull the same things on the world stage. Let's move on to our third team. Another challenger on the international stage of MLBB Esports. Destroyer, you gotta rep your squad, man. MCC Season 5 champions is Team Spirit.
Yes, definitely. These guys. So we are back again. Here we are. And Team Spirit is ready for dominating. They just went to the boot camp to Malaysia. They arrived yesterday or the day after yesterday, something like that, if I remember right. So they're gonna practice a lot. They make it nearly every time. They're showing the better and better results always, except the previous MSC. I don't want to remember it, but it doesn't matter.
They got grouped
before. Yeah, we got grouped. we we got like top 4 during M5. We got top 4 during M6. It's pretty impressive results. Kid Bomba is a showrunner. He play nearly all the main heroes. One shot, sometimes even showing us something unexpected. He played third-party tournament and he even played Uranus Jungle. Actually, for me, it was the first time I saw Uranus Jungle. I was, what the hell is going on, bro? How did you decide to play? Also, nearly all meta heroes like Kaja, Lancelot, Yusunshin. So I think outban him is something unreal for me personally. I don't see any problems for this guy. Also, one of the most stable of the people in our region, mid laner, Sunset Lover. I think you remember he was participating absolutely in every M series. He was everywhere, and he dies really, really rare. Actually, I would like to say nobody in this region dies as less as him. Hiko, the third guy who made Savage during the M series, also the amazing positioning. He totally understands how to make jukes. He understands when I need to go in, when I need to go back, when I should work with my front lane, and when I need to maybe go some farm. Sawa. It's the father of our esport.
Oh yeah.
Because from him everything started. And I would like to say about something unexpected. He's the only player, and I think you remember playing Beleric.
Yep.
And even in the current meta, Minotaur. Even in the current meta, when nobody takes it, he's still like, guys, I can show you how do you need to make it real and how to perform with it well. So this guy's in my heart.
Okay, so you all heard it first, all right? That's a Around the World exclusive. Minotaur on Sawo might show up in MSC.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, and Destroyer mentioned the Beleric too. Honestly, the moment he said the Beleric, I was like, oh yeah, because I'm looking forward to seeing the Beleric show up again. Maybe because I've had some absolutely nightmare experiences in the past few days in my ranked games. I don't know. I think I got unlucky going up against Beleric roamers. I've lost 3 matches now against Beleric roams. There's something there. And we can't just say, oh, it's just where everyone's ranking up. It's just RG. No. Sometimes the dudes in RG, we pick stuff up from them and it works out. But the fact that Sao already showed the Beleric in the past, yeah, I'm looking out for that. I think that might be once again, like a key poison pick for Team Spirit.
I have a question.
Sorry, additional. He is still picking it. Literally previous week.
Just actively.
Literally previous week. 2 times. at least
Let's
2 times
go.
that I remember.
So in this patch, he's making it work. He's
Yes.
one way or another, we're gonna see a Beleric. All right, I have a question though. Destroyer, in your opinion, and Renmar, I want to ask you the same thing. You can answer right after. How do you think Team Spirit playing in a global ban pick system will affect their play in MSC?
It's a hard question actually. We speak about the Brave Draft, right?
Yes.
Like the system. When I check the statistics, it's definitely make me easily to understand in the regions when we don't have the global bans.
Yes.
Well, like when you see that people don't spam in the same heroes, you understand. Okay, so there are variety. There are options for the team that they can choose, and from one side, I think it's pretty okay. And there are a lot of discussions actually in our region about it. Is it good or bad? Because we're gonna play the classic, I would like to say, draft. And here we face the people who constantly were spamming the same heroes. They were the level of the performance were growing, etc. And we got the variety. What is better? Questionable. I would like. I hope the variety gonna win.
Yeah, because you're going to the age-old adage of what are you more afraid of? The man who practiced one move 1,000 times, or the man who practiced 1,000 moves once or twice? Right, Renmar, what's your take on this?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know why there's something about, maybe it's because we're all still trying to discover like how to make this new patch work. Even though like in some recent tournaments or streams, it seems like just a mix of the usual, but then from time to time you'll see a healer. I know there was a hot fix that instantly nerfed some things also. My lapu lapu, but I just gotta say, yeah, right. So unlucky, dude. But there's something about it that makes me think the teams that are more willing to really do some crazy drafts, of course, within like the boundaries of okay, that still makes sense. It's crazy, but it still makes sense. And the teams with the widest hero pools are the ones that are going to be most rewarded in MSC. So the fact that they did Brave Draft in EECA, that yes, they are going up against a teams that say, okay, this is it. We've practiced this, we've practiced the meta, but we don't fully understand what the meta is just yet. And I think that's still going to continue heading into MSC. That all that flexibility and diversity is going to be good for them.
Yeah, I'd like to think that it's more of a boon, an advantage that you have reps on all these heroes that no one else in the world picks, and that's in your back pocket compared to, again, regions like ours who just forces the most optimal strat down your throat. It's like, this is the only way to win, and we will win. Just to wrap up our discussion on Team Spirit, they qualified in June 2, 2025, and real quick, can you run us through the history of their rivalry with Virtus Pro Destroyer? Because in the finals, they swept Virtus Pro. Nothing, 4-0. But in the upper bracket, they went all the way. Why is that?
Actually, if you want to speak about Virtus Pro a bit,
just tell me how much they brought to the table, because how did they do that to Team Spirit in the uppers but got swept in the finals?
Actually, for Virtus Pro, it was a surprise for our region overall. No, maybe someone expected, but most of the people was like, "What is happening, guys? Here we go again!" And the newcomers that got literally about zero experience, just showing up and making impressive moves. It was also surprising for Team Spirit because the upper bracket, because they, showing super aggressive style. They was maybe not even prepared, because in our region, like Team Spirit, the guys who dominate the region, you should understand, when you face them, you're playing the second role. You don't play the first one. And Virtus Pro, young guys, we don't care about with whom to play. Let's go. That's why it was surprised, but overall it was 4-0 in the grand finals, because Team Spirit respect. Yes, Team Spirit respect the opponents, and when they see, okay, one time you got lucky, next time, bro, we will be prepared. They didn't lose grand finals for 5 tournaments in a row, I guess, for 2 offlines and 3 offlines, if I calculate right. I don't want to pronounce the name of the tournament. I hope for your understanding.
But it's all Team Spirit. All Team Spirit.
All Team Spirit. All the time. Team Spirit. And it's nearly all the time 3-0, 4-0. They're like stomping opponents.
Okay. Bomba owes me a jersey from M6. Moving on. That is the champion, again, representative of MCC, the EECA. That's Team Spirit. Now, we have our final team. So there's only 4 challengers. So you can just figure it out. You can guess who it is. I'm no longer going to leave you wondering, because it's time to talk about the Khmer, the representatives of Cambodia, MPL PH, Season 8 champions, CFU Gaming, coming back after M6. They qualified last May 11, 2025. Wow, it's been a long time ago. They were one of the first, actually. They, gentlemen, sweep Team Max 4-1. And then beat Galaxy Legends in the upper bracket finals 3-1 to secure their slot here in the group stage.
Yeah, for CFU, this is the team that the one team I really want to see go up against SRG and MSC, because they need to have a rematch, man, after what Innocent did to them in M6 World Championship, that Moskov spear to completely turn everything around when we thought SRG would get eliminated before even advancing and CFU would advance. And I think they are gonna be carrying that onto their shoulders. Now, every time I feel like when you watch MPL Cambodia, after multiple seasons now of MPL Cambodia, I think we just saw their 8th season, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken. We have to accept that sometimes MPL Cambodia seasons are their own little bubble. For better or for worse, this is just my outsider perspective. I'm not saying that's exactly what it is, just someone who watches it from the outside. Playing within the Cambodian server brings out some of the best, yet sometimes some of the messiest qualities of Cambodian MLBB, where it's so entertaining. There's a lot of fights, but then there will be moments where you're going to be going, why? Why make that decision? You guys could have gotten the major objective, but okay, there's only one guy alive on both sides. Everyone's entertained, cool. But then suddenly they go into international events and then they shock the world. What CU Soon did last MSC without a coach. They beat Onyx Indonesia at that time. Fnatic Onyx Indo. So I'm hoping CFU remembers what happened to them in M6, carries that into MSC, and now with Boxy leading the charge, of course, in the roam, he is the Cambodian roaming legend, 4-time MPL Cambodia champion. I just want to layer down some of their signature picks. His Badang, that's his main pick for the season, 8-1. His Comfort in the Kalea, 5-1. So lots of great records there. The one that surprised me, and I don't know, maybe Detective will have to change up his hero pool a bit, but I see her still getting picked up from time to time. Dude, his Joy is undefeated for the entire season of MPL Cambodia. It's 8-0. That's crazy. In other regions, that's rare to see an undefeated Joy, especially with how difficult Joy can be to pull off. But seeing how he plays it, it's so good. So my hopes are very high for CFU. And I hope we get to see that SRG grudge match. We need to see that revenge match.
I hate that you didn't mention Zing. Zing is their other MVP, man. As long as their gold laner is eating, the rest of the team eats good. He plays Melissa, Moskov, Bruno, and then gets his hands on the Granger. Whatever. Everybody's good with Granger anyways. Destroyer, your thoughts on CFU?
First of all, I even wrote some statistics about what do they prefer and some interesting things. Yes, overall about the Cambodia region, it's like I checked the win rate from the heroes they play, and it's pretty funny. They spammed Jusin and Hylos. It's like 33 and 41% win rate in their region. But as you mentioned, Bruno and Joy, 68% on Joy overall in the region, and 75 for Bruno in 60 games, and nearly all the time, was spamming Zing actually.
See?
So it's pretty, so it's pretty funny that you mentioned about it. I literally wrote exactly that, the heroes, and it was funny. And about if we're gonna speak about M6, also about MSC previously and the current results that will be this time. Previously they got unlucky versus SRG. And they also, right before it, they were unlucky to face Team Spirit. You remember? They faced like in a row Team Spirit and then SRG, the group of death, actually. The guys who received the top 4. And they faced one by one. They won Vamos, they won Flash, but they then just unlucky, and they lost nearly everyone. In the second round, if I remember, Onyx Philippines, right? They lost. Can you remind me? If I remember right. So for Onyx Philippines, and overall, I see the growth of the region. I also understand that they are serious opponents. You need to be prepared to them. It's not like easy walk outside. You need to understand that they can make something interesting, and especially even with the heroes that showing not the best win rate, they still can win with it and show pretty good results.
Yeah, they just like the fight. I'll echo that much. I like how y'all mentioned their commitment to fighting, and then wondering, wait, why did you do that, or why did you not finish? Because they're very all in, or just out. They're very similar, just in macro. I don't know if you agree with me, Destroyer, to EECA, because they have the same kind of game stats. They have very fast games, on average like 13 minutes, 13 and a half. And then, like EECA, their matches, or at least specifically for Team Spirit, don't go past 20 minutes. Like they end at 19 or 18. They just or they lose, but they're very fast in general.
Overall, I would like to say our region, not all teams understand when you need to fight and when you need to skip sometimes. And I guess that's the global problem. Everyone except maybe the Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia. But in our region, even people if play and they're losing 1k gold, they're still okay, let's go. Our roamers still don't have level 4, okay, let's go, why not? It's like fight just to fight. I call it like this because I have no idea for what they are fighting. And yeah, sometimes they also CFU when I speak about CFU Gaming also got such problems like of the regions that like you call challengers. Sometimes they got this problem. If we tell about the Spirit, there are another way. They are trying to exchange. They learned from the previous experience that they need to exchange. If you give the turtle, take something, enemy jungle, go to have priority on the mid so your triple can move easily to another lane, etc. From we needed several years to understand that, so I'm pretty sure Cambodia also will understand it, and they are moving to it.
Glad to hear, and I think that is the direction that everyone in MLBB Esports is going to. That's our take on the challengers in MSC 2025. Real quick, just to cap off our discussion, I'm gonna put y'all on the spot, okay? Renmar, for Mythic Seal specifically, you're repping the Burmese now since you did call their grand finals, and of course, Destroyer for your beloved Team Spirit, EECA. Where do you think these teams are gonna end up at the end of the day? When all is said and done, what is the top spot you think these teams can take when MSC 2025 is over?
You're an evil person, you know? First of all, say something like that. If they go further than I predict, the audience will tell, you didn't trust them. but if I predict too high, Destroyer, you don't understand.
You curse them. No, because yeah. Here's what's cool. Renmar was there in the jungle when he said, "Great Scott!" Because now there's suddenly a top 3. There's a battle for third now, so you can say, "Third, Destroyer, this is your out." Just tell the world. They'll just finish third again, like they always do.
Bro, I'll make it higher.
Okay.
Top two.
Finals.
I'm ready to be blamed. I'm ready for it, but I want top 2. You know, because previously, 2 years in a row, top 8. Okay, so previously we got top 4. Now we need to double it. Double and move to top 2.
Okay. Renmar, for Mythic Seal, what do you think? The Burmese are on you now.
That's tough. I think. Okay, funnily enough, when it comes to Mythic Seal, Aurora, and CFU, they're the ones I'm looking at of like could be close, you know, that in terms of like who's gonna be able to advance into the main knockout stages, get out of groups. If ever we don't even know the groups yet. Mythic Seal.
Shot in the dark. Just shot in the dark.
I'm confident they will make it to the top 8.
Knockouts.
I'm confident they'll make it to the top 8. Yeah. They'll make it out of their group stage, they'll be able to make it to knockout.
All right, safe. We'll leave it at that. Again, gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time out of your days to share with all of the MLBB Esports fans your takes on the challengers at MSC 2025. Folks, I'm going to put up their socials here so you can reach out to Renmar Santa Cruz and the Destroyer. Again, reppin MPL PH / MSL and, of course, the EECA MCC. You'll see them in action in MSC 2025 at EWC. And again, my name is Leo. Thank you for watching MLBB Around the World. I hope you enjoyed our discussion on the challengers of MSC 2025. If you did, please like this video and subscribe. MLBB Around the World is powered by ASUS Republic of Gamers. Now might be the right time for a phone upgrade. Check out the ROG School program. Running throughout the month of July 2025, you can get the ROG Phone 9 series for as low as $39,995. Plus, get a free Aeroactive Cooler X, a value of $4,995 to keep your cool while you game away and get stars in this new meta. Check the link in the description for more details on the ROG School program and get your hands on the ROG Phone 9.